Yep.
as you are kind of schemes they're going to, like how do you do it?
Yeah, you look at the games we've played, what we've had success in, what we can clean up, and just think about how many times you put this here. Is that cool? Can I put it there? That's cool. What works, what doesn't work, and how you just find a way to maximize those reps at that, and trying to improve and trying to strengthen whatever's already pretty solid. And that's what this week or so has been, and even before when you kind of saw that we were probably going to play them, so trying to find, okay, this works, that works, they'd like to do this, they struggle with this, we struggle with this, let's get better at this, we need to like different things, and but also at the same time keeping in perspective it's basketball too. You can kind of overload your brain and keep a lot of information. So just understanding that we play these guys, it's basketball, keeping it simple, but also working on ways to find little nuances to be successful.
Donovan, given last summer's events, your story, is this just fitting that it's the next?
Yeah, I mean, I said it when I first got here, it's full circle moment. Life has been full of, this year especially, been full of full circle moments for me. And, we're playing the Knicks, playing the hometown team after this whole summer. I'm playing against an associate head coach in Johnny Bryant, who, I don't know if you guys know this, but like what you guys see, like the product of who I am is from him. He's from day one, he's been there and helped me, groom me to be who I am today. And, so there's a lot of moments and full circle moments, and that's what makes basketball fun. It makes sports fun, and this will be a lot of fun.
I wanted to ask about Johnny. They seem to think they have a secret weapon. Have you stopped talking to him?
I haven't talked to him in a while. That's family though. That's like my brother. Blood wouldn't make us any closer. But his wife texted both of us this morning. I had to ignore it. But there's kids. I love his kids, like his family. I've been to his house 1,000 times. But right now it's time to go. So it'll be fun.
What kind of layer does that in though when you're playing against somebody who's so well?
You don't have to do anything different. I mean, I think at the end of the day, they're going to just try and make it tougher, but, not to overthink it, not to go out there and try to, I got to completely change what I'm doing. No, continue to do what I'm doing, continue to find ways to be successful, and be the best player I can be for this group. If you get to overthinking it, that's where things start to go left and right. But, it'll be a different challenge, one I haven't experienced in my career, and that's what makes the game fun. And I think we're excited as a group to go out there, and, I know a lot of stories going to be about myself and that stuff, but I think there's a lot of different guys out here that, looking to prove themselves and continue to build as well, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it provides a little context, but I also think that, we see what they could possibly do. Like I said, there's always those possibilities of what could happen, what couldn't happen, what not. So I think for us, it allowed us to prepare for it. But just getting back to doing what we do, watching the film, getting ready for what they do. Both teams, both us and them, are pretty consistent in what we do. We're pretty steady on what we do. So it's been a good week of practice for us. We're ready to get going.
You have the talent to take over a game yourself. Playoffs is obviously a different animal. How do you, in your mind, make that calculation when it's just time for Donovan Mitchell to take it over and bring it home?
I think the biggest thing is just doing whatever's needed for the game. I don't come into it saying, all right, this is the game, I got to do this, or come into this series where I got to do this. Just whatever, take the game and approach it the same way every day. Whatever's needed for me, whatever's needed for the group to be successful. And it's been scoring for pretty much throughout the year, and it's going to continue to be that. But there's also things, whether it's getting off the ball if they blitz, being able to get hits on the boards, defensively, locking down my assignments, different things. So just approach it and taking what the game gives me on both ends of the floor.
Every player being themselves and playing their role.
Yeah.
But it is the playoffs. There are a lot of guys who haven't been in this position. How do you balance taking it to that level, but also remaining who you are?
Just understanding you just got to be really, really good at what you do. Whatever you do, whether it's you're a three-point shooter, you're a defender, you're a rebounder, you're a scorer, you're whatever it may be, a passer. You just got to be really elite at that. They have guys that are really elite at what they do. They've had guys who've been to the playoffs a lot more than we have, but understanding for the guys that haven't been is just understanding just taking your game and just being perfect. As perfect as you can be. There's no such thing as perfect, but if you strive for it on a consistent basis, you'll be able to stay there and maintain that.
What are you telling some of the young players moment, obviously leading up this entire week, but maybe come tomorrow?
Have fun. This can be a stressful time, especially with this week now, with the playing week. Now you have a week to think about it. I think just have fun, embrace it. I told the story to Serena the other day. I didn't really understand my first year. I didn't understand the magnitude of going against Russell Westbrook, Melo, and PG in my first season. And then, I come out, I start off hot, and I get to my first time out, and I told my coach, like, yo, I'm ready to throw up. Like, you know what I mean? So understand that it hits people differently. Like for me, it didn't hit to the first media timeout. Some guys it's now, but just enjoy it. Enjoy this process. Your first playoff series is here at Rocket Mortgage. It's going to be loud. It's the first time, like obviously since Bron's been here. And then you go to the Garden, which hasn't had a full capacity playoff series in 10 years. So you can't complain for your first series at all. So enjoy it, embrace it, and have fun, and just prepare for what's coming.
For you,
we're capable of a lot, but I think the biggest thing is taking it one game at a time. We have championship aspirations. I think every team, and obviously every team in the playoffs do, but for us, we got to take care of business. It starts with tomorrow. We can't look to games 2, 3, 4, and 5. Can't look to the next series, whether we go up 3-1, 3-2, down 3-2, 3-1, whatever it may be. Just focus on the next game, because if you start to look into the future, you're screwed for the moment.
I know you talked in the past, in this year, about like what happened last year against Dallas. In any way, do you feel like you're coming into this playoffs with something because of that?
I feel like I've felt that way the whole year. I feel like that's just been, it's kind of been my MO throughout my career, is trying to prove, my caliber of player. Obviously, I know who I am. These guys know who I am. I know what I'm capable of, and I just got to go out there and be a leader. I'm not going to come in here and, try to go over and take over off rip. Just play the game and do what I've been doing. Not make it too much of a, this is my thing. Understand that this is a team game. We're not going to just win if I just try to shoot every single time or try to go out there. We got to do this as a group collectively, and that's what's got us to this point. I'm just going to continue to do that.
What sticks with you the most from that postseason experience last year?
How early I was at the crib, to be honest, watching those games. Like, I never forget just sitting there and you're watching the rest of these first round games and you're just like, man, like we're done. Like, and I told these guys, like, when we first started, like, you don't want to be sitting in the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, wherever you're going, thinking like, man, I should have got this offensive rebound, or man, I should have, got that one stop. I've done that. You don't want to get up 3-1 and then lose. I've done that too. Like, you don't want to say, man, all we needed was one game. I've been up 2-0 and lost 4 straight, so like there's different things that I've experienced that are heartbreaking, and obviously last year was definitely hard as well. So for me, just coming to understand and playing with a sense of desperation, that's what you're going to see with these guys. Tomorrow we got to come with that same level of desperation. Doesn't matter if we have home court, neutral court, or whatever it may be. You got to come out with a level of desperation, not just for tonight. And if we win tomorrow, it's not like, all right, like, it's no need to relax. We got to continue to play with that same level of desperation on a night-to-night basis.
How different has this experience been from you, maybe early in your career, seeking out advice from guys who had been there before to now being the person that guys are seeking advice from?
It happened kind of fast, to be honest. I still vividly remember a lot of things from my rookie year. I still talk to a lot of my teammates. Fortunately, 2 of them are on the team from my rookie year about those moments, and just understanding that what got me to this point and how those 2 in particular, and Ricky and how will help me become the player that I have been, and how I can do that for others. Whether it's leading through voice, leading through example. Like I said, sometimes throughout the season it's been like just getting in the weight room and just getting to practice early. You don't got to say anything, just go out there and do it. And a lot of times too, like we have a lot of young guys that are really like determined, and really like, really want it, and I think that's something that makes a lot of the vets jobs easier, because you got guys like Evan Mobley, who's been outstanding, Darius Garland's been outstanding, Isaac Okoro, Lamar and I are the same age, but obviously different in NBA years, so, he's taking another jump. Like, there's so many different guys on this team who've taken the jump, so it's going to be exciting to see when we get out there and play our first playoff series together. It starts with this, like, limiting distractions, limiting whether it's first take, for example, or like NBA TV. And although I love Richard and Malika and all those guys. But that's a part of it, you know, ignoring you guys, that's a part of it. You know, understand that the job is the job. It's within the lines. You know, focus on that, you know, but also in the same token, whatever happened in game one happened, fix it and adjust and work on it, get better at it, or maintain that level of competitive, but be ready for game two. And kind of just staying in that moment, you know, not really letting the outside stuff kind of add unwanted pressure or unneeded, because at the end of the day, like, you're just as good as what you are right here, you know, and keeping yourself focused on that. And it's tough. It's easy for me to tell you, yeah, this is what you got to do, but until you feel it, until you experience it, you're not going to know how to manage it. So these guys, you know, like I said, they've had a great poker face, because you wouldn't be able to tell that they're nervous at all. You know, and like I said, the work has been phenomenal throughout this week. So, you know, I'm excited to get out there with these guys and get to it.
You sense a bit of nervousness?
No, I don't sense it at all. That's what I'm saying. If they are, like, I don't see it. I know none of us see. We're out there continuously working, and you know, there's a beauty in not knowing what's coming as well, because at the end of the day, when you don't fully understand the magnitude of the moment, you come out there and you're just playing free. So there's a beauty in that as well. You know, people always say, oh, the inexperience, but there's also another side to it as well, which, you know, I think will definitely help for us as well, because we have guys, like I said, are lighthearted and always enjoying the moment where they're at and continuously working hard.
What's the feeling knowing that it's Brunson that's standing in your way?
You know, he's there. We gotta get him. And it's not just him; it's him and Randall and Quick and Harden, those guys. But obviously, Jalen's the head of the snake, so we got to go out there and you know, find a way to contain him and make sure the other guys don't get off. And you know, it'll be a lot of fun. You know, this is what, like I said, this is why you play the game, for games like this, and it'll be a lot of fun.
With their offensive style, how do you guys?
Ours or theirs?
With the Knicks' offensive style, how do you guys make sure that they are not the ones that end up controlling the tempo and the pacing, and, you know, not so much taking you guys out of your game, but really just allowing them to dictate to you how?
Well, if we get our stops, you know, they're really good at getting second chance points. You know, it's a possession game. You know, obviously that's what the playoffs are. You know, if we get a stop, you only want to play 24 seconds. You're not trying to play 35 seconds, 40 seconds of defense. You know, that's a big thing. You got Mitchell Robinson, you got Hartenstein, Julius, you got Josh Hart, guys who are crashing the boards nonstop, making it tough on you. You know, and then when we get that stop, being able to control our pace and do what we do. You know, at the end of the day, you gotta go out there and just play our game of basketball and make sure we get stops and rebound. I think that's gonna be the biggest key to success.
Donovan, you at practice this week has maybe surprised you a little bit, as you could tell they have an edge to them in game one.
Karras. I feel like Karras is, you know, his approach, just as he's locked in. Jetty as well. Jetty and Karras, I think, are the two for me that I feel like, you know, they're getting their work in, they're doing what they're doing, but, you know, whether it's through hitting shots, through being in the right spots, talking things out, I think those are the two guys that I've seen. I'm like, all right, like, you know, you sense it. You know, I've sensed that with Karras for about like 3 or 4 weeks now. You're starting to see a different shift in his mindset, and, you know, I've said he's going to be the X factor. He's going to be a big part of our series, so I'm excited.
You kind of touched on it before, but you guys have been able to pack the Rockets Fieldhouse all season long. It's playoffs, first time in 5 years. What are you expecting from fans throughout this entire series?
I was here for the finals in 17, I believe it was, and that was nuts. So I can only imagine what's coming. Obviously, it's been 5 years, and you know, you feel the energy, you know, around. People are outside walking, so you drive by, I have my window down, people are, you know, say like, all right, here we go, like Saturday, whatever. So it'll be exciting. You know, I kind of felt it when we played the Knicks the last time. You know, when we ran out and the seats were already filled. You know, people are excited to get to it. So this whole series is going to be a lot of fun, and can't wait.
Hey, when does the New York Knicks
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. We'll see.